Smithers is a Go Spaghettio practitioner. She is well versed in the basic principles of REBT and General Semantics theories. She knows the language of feedback can be helpful, meaning she is making sure it is effort-focused and never person-specific. She tells her students that making a mistake does not make them a mistake. She refers to the Go Spaghettio visual chart at the start of each day and sings the Go song with the children. They anticipate having a successful day, and they will work through the inevitable challenges that crop up every now and then. Greets her children as they arrive at school. She has done her homework, and her goal is to apply rational emotive behavior therapy and general semantics principles in daily teaching practice. Another principle uppermost in her mind is to promote classroom discourse based on questioning, inquiry, problem solving, and self-monitoring, referring to the classroom emotional thermometer and catastrophe scale to reinforce the idea that thinking, feeling, and acting are connected. Things happen, but do they make us feel and act as we do? Or is something else at work? Miss Smithers applies these discourse rules to herself, thinking out loud, modelling to her children that she is practicing what they are all talking about. She walks the Go Spaghettio talk. Some research about general semantics theory. Albert Ellis said his REBT is heavily influenced by the work of general semantics creator Alfred Korzybski. He put forward the idea of the verbal pollution-free zone. What is it, and what has this got to do with Go Spaghettio and early childhood teaching and learning? Miss Smithers has reached a level of understanding of REBT principles, and she is growing in her confidence to teach them and apply them in her teaching practice. The Go Spaghettio pedagogy is based on rational emotive behavior therapy and general semantics theories, designed to acquaint her students with the idea that thinking, feeling, and behaving are interconnected. She is keen that her classroom becomes a place where every opportunity is used to help students become confident young learners, confident and motivated, and able to manage the challenges that daily life presents to them. Miss Smithers says, I've been doing some research about general semantics theory. Albert Ellis said his REBT is heavily influenced by the work of general semantics theory. He put forward the idea of the verbal pollution-free zone. What is it, and what has this got to do with Go Spaghettio and early childhood teaching and learning? Busy Bee says the verbal pollution-free zone consists of the following questions. What do you mean? Which forces the speaker to clarify the exact definitions of the words they are using. Number 2, how do you know? This requires the speaker to provide evidence or cite the source of their information. Question 3, what have you left out? Encourages the person to consider alternative perspectives and prevents jumping to incomplete conclusions. The verbal pollution-free zone is a conscious communication technique designed to reduce ambiguity, subjective judgments, and emotional reactions by asking specific questions. Ms. Smithers will use these questions to challenge her children to explain what they mean and how they know what they mean is accurate, and to consider what they have missed or forgotten or left out that could change how they think about things. She will use the Go Spaghettio pedagogy to teach children that how we think might not be informed by the evidence, and Miss Smithers will train her students how to think about what they say and think. She will encourage children to recognize brain bully thinking when they feel sad, angry, or anxious. She will use the emotional thermometer and the catastrophe scale to help them with their thinking. Way to go, Spaghettio. Withers applies her learning in her teaching practice, and her goal is to become more proficient in applying the REBT and General Semantics principles in her work so that her children will have the skills and knowledge to think about their thinking when they are older. She says, I'm wondering how I might teach this to my students. I'll make it part of my daily chat, the classroom discourse. I'll ask these questions in relation to Franklin's bad day, the story that I read to the children. Thanks, Mrs. Buzzy. I'm on to it. You're welcome, says Miss Buzzy. Miss Buzzy? Or is it a wasp? Looks like a wasp or a hornet, not so much a bee. In Franklin's bad day, Franklin wanted things to stay the same, and brain bully, or irrational thinking, was saying, it's not fair. This should not happen. I'll never be happy again. But Franklin's dad helped him to think about things differently. What do you think, girls and boys? Did Otter, Franklin's friend, return as Franklin wanted? No, but Franklin changed his thinking about what happened from brain bully to brain friend thinking, from success stopper thinking to success helper thinking. He could still be friends with Otter, but in a different way. Sometimes we don't get what we want, but we can use brain friend thinking, success helper thinking, to help ourselves. The children reply. Franklin's father said, what do you mean? How do you know? What have you left out or forgotten, Franklin? Well done, everyone. We're learning how we feel and act is connected to how we think. Give it a try, banana pie, said Miss Buzzy. Have a go, Spaghettio, everyone says.